first of all, we would like to know what this story is about. Could you briefly tell us what is Whatever Tree about in the film?
Sure. So Whatever Tree is about how humans can connect with nature in the age of social media. So I really think it's important that we as humans have real connections with the natural world, and that can happen through our devices, through cameras, and through the internet, and through social media, or it can happen totally on our own. And I wanted to explore how to do that in this age where we're all looking at screens all the time.
Okay, then I guess maybe a lot of our audience might be curious for the inspiration of Whatever Tree. Where did this come from? And did you first have the image of Whatever Tree in mind, or did you develop the story first, or the other way around?
Well, I did not have the idea for Whatever Tree, a tree that looked like a shruggy, but I wanted to do something about the absurdity of the internet and memes. So I would be looking at the internet or social media and see a meme, and everyone would be laughing or dancing or they're dabbing or whatever they're doing. And I thought, this is really funny and interesting that everybody is getting excited about this thing, which is very silly and doesn't really have any meaning beyond just a thing to share. So I wanted to combine sort of the idea of a meme with something very real and natural. And I found in my view, the perfect vehicle with this tree that looks like it's saying whatever, because that's kind of what the internet is to a lot of people. It's like, whatever, this mixes with this and it doesn't matter. And so there's a lot of apathy of people not caring about the environment. And I really wanted to tie that into the tree. And I actually have the tree here. I want to show the tree itself, because a lot of people don't know how big this is.
Yeah, it's actually quite huge.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of animation, it's big.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not as big as a real tree, because that would have been hard. And you can see I just made it out of little branches.
Speaking of this, also this film, we see that it combines also both the virtual and the real world scenes. So, for example, we see that there are many 2D paper cut figures, as well as the clear texture of the real tree skin. So we're curious to know, why did you choose to tell the story in this style? What would be the difficulty in mixing both elements together in this animation?
I think the idea for me was, let's make the people out of paper and the animals, and then let's make all of the tree, plant, living wildlife that's not sort of in the human world or the animals that are in the tree. Let's just have that real, because not only does it give that interesting contrast, but it's sort of like we're dealing with the real world, so I want you to be familiar with that. Like this is just a building that's how a building looks, or this is how a tree looks, and we know that. And so that combination was interesting for me. And it was also a good way to save time, because I didn't have to make the backgrounds. I just used the environments as they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually have some more props here I can show you. So like this guy, for example, is a good example of paper and then a real object. So I designed the squirrel, and then I just kind of drew it, and then I had a few replacement heads, so you can see I had a new head.
They have different facial expressions.
Exactly, and there were only 3 because it's very fast, crazy motion. And then while he was doing that, I turned this a little bit, so you get sort of the contrast and the dimension of flat and real, right? And probably the best example of this technique is actually this walk cycle of the main character walking along, looking on his phone. So you can see, I mean, it's a little bit hard, but there's many versions of these.
Okay.
There's actually 12 of him, and they're all slightly different feet. So I would put one in, take it out, put a new one in, take it out, put a new one in, and I would move very slowly across the scene. So I just used a lot of old-fashioned tricks to make the animation happen outside. And I always started drawing, and then tracing the drawings, and then making these puppets.
So did you complete everything basically inside your studio? Is there a space like this?
Yeah, I made all of the props here, and then I took them out, and I had to find specific locations because I needed like a tree to be in a certain way, or the light to come across a field. So there was a lot of location scouting where I would find places and think, this is the place where I stick this thing in here or this thing in here. So it was really took me all over the city and into parks, and I also shot a little bit outside in my backyard too.
So when you were little, have you ever imagined that you would one day become a animator as a career?
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, I didn't really think about animation as a job. But I was very interested in drawing and all kinds of art. And actually, the thing that I did when I was a kid a lot were these kind of things. I made flip books, which I actually am still using. So just like little things where I would animate, like here's a little, I'm not sure if this is going to work on the camera, but it was like like people walking. It's just like a very simple way to draw quickly and change the drawing, and I still use these all the time. So
yeah, it's like the original form of the motion pictures nowadays. Then, is there any advice that you would like to share for kids who might want to pursue animation as a career in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I would say go for it. And animation is very rewarding. It provides a lot of satisfaction. It allows you to focus all of your energy towards something that you can see the result of when you see it moving. And wherever it takes you, making your own short films or in the industry or making TV shows or just on your own, just having fun and practicing. I think that animation is a great idea to get into. There's so many ways that you can get into it, and you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. And I would say, whatever you're into, just focus a lot of energy into it, because in that way you'll learn how to do it better and better, and you'll find what you like about it, and you can focus in on that.